Look at your screen right now. Not the content on it, the screen itself, the glass, the light pouring into your eyes at this exact second. Now ask yourself something that's going to follow you for the rest of the day. When was the last time you actually spoke to a real human being online? Not texted someone you know in real life. Online. A stranger, a commenter, a person behind a profile picture who showed up in your feed and felt real. Because here's what nobody is saying out loud. What if they weren't? What if the internet you grew up on, the chaotic, messy, human internet of arguments and inside jokes and genuinely weird people, what if that thing quietly died? Not with a news alert, not with a shutdown, just stopped, and something else slipped in wearing its skin. That is not a metaphor. That is the operating reality of the digital world you are sitting inside of right now. The dead internet theory isn't a Reddit conspiracy anymore. It's a documented, measurable, accelerating phenomenon. And 2024 was the year the last pulse flatlined. You scroll, you like, you watch, you share, and somewhere in that loop, the humans left. And you didn't notice. Nobody did. Because the replacement was too clean, too seamless, too perfectly calibrated to keep you from ever asking the question you're asking right now. And here's the part that should make your stomach drop. The content you engaged with this morning, the comment that made you laugh, the post that made you angry enough to screenshot it, the profile that seemed just real enough to feel like a person. There is a statistically overwhelming probability that none of it came from a human being. Not one. Now hold that thought, because it gets so much darker than that. Picture a city, not a metaphor city, a real one. Think Chicago. Massive. Dense, alive, 47 square miles of buildings, streets, traffic, noise, light. Now imagine every single person in that city vanished overnight, but the lights stayed on. The cars kept moving on automated tracks. Store windows displayed products. Restaurant signs flickered open at 7 a.m. Elevator doors opened and closed on schedule. And if you stood on Michigan Avenue and looked around, you would absolutely swear that somewhere just around the corner there were people. That is the modern internet. Bots posting, bots commenting, bots reacting to other bots' posts, bots building follower counts on accounts that have never had a single human thought pass through them, entire ecosystems of simulated discourse, simulated outrage, simulated virality, running on loop 24 hours a day, generating the appearance of human civilization without a single living soul behind the curtain. Researchers studying web traffic patterns in 2024 found that bot-generated content had crossed a threshold that most experts believed was still years away. Estimates now place the percentage of online activity generated by non-human agents at somewhere between 60 and 72% of all internet traffic. 60 to 72. Think about what that number means physically. If the internet were a stadium packed with 100,000 voices, 68,000 of them aren't mouths. They're speakers playing a recording of a mouth. And the remaining 30,000? They're sitting in that stadium, listening to the recordings, reacting to them, letting them shape what they believe is popular, what they believe is real, what they believe other people think. You are in that stadium right now, and the noise around you is not people. But here's where the ghost city stops being an analogy and starts being something far more disturbing. Because those automated systems, they aren't just filling space, they're doing something with the space they're filling. And this next part is the piece that most people can't wrap their heads around because it sounds too abstract until you realize it's happening inside your brain in real time. AI systems are no longer just generating content for humans to consume. They are generating content for other AI systems to train on. The loop has closed entirely, fully. Human consciousness has been removed from the circuit as a necessary component. Here's how it actually works and why it should terrify you. A large language model generates an article. That article gets scraped by another automated system that uses it as training data. The second model, now trained on AI-generated text, produces more content. That content enters the feed. Other models scrape the feed. The cycle repeats without a single human editorial thought ever touching any part of it. This is called model collapse in the research literature. And it isn't theoretical. It was documented at scale in 2024. The signal is degrading. The content is slowly drifting away from genuine human knowledge and toward a kind of digital static content that looks like information, reads like information, but is information about information, hollowed out at the core. But here's the question that should make you genuinely uncomfortable right now. And I need you to sit with this one. Your digital identity, your likes, your watch history, your search patterns, your scrolling behavior, the 3 seconds you spend spent hovering over that one post before moving on. That data is being used to generate content specifically tailored to keep your eyes moving across a screen. Not content you asked for. Content engineered for you. But engineered by what? Engineered by a system that learned what you respond to, not from understanding you as a person, but from treating you as a behavioral pattern to be extended. You are not the user. You are the training signal. And the thing generating content in response to your signal, it's also a signal now, being fed into something else, which means the conversation you think you're having with the internet isn't a conversation at all. It's a mirror facing another mirror. Infinite reflections with no original image. Now ask yourself, and I mean actually ask yourself this, is your online identity still yours? Or has it been reconstructed piece by systems that know the shape of you better than you know it yourself? Is the version of you that exists in the data somewhere still recognizably human? Or has it been smoothed, averaged, and optimized into something that exists purely to generate more engagement? Stay with me, because this last part is where the theory stops being about the internet. Right now, this exact second, while you are watching this, something is happening to you that you cannot feel, cannot see, and cannot opt out of. The content ecosystem you live inside of every single day. The feed you wake up and check before you even fully open your eyes. The videos that autoplay while you're technically doing something else. The comment sections you read even when you tell yourself you won't. That ecosystem is not neutral. It was not built to inform you. It was not built to connect you. It was built, refined, and is now increasingly operated by non-human intelligence optimized for one single metric: time on screen. And here's the existential gut punch. That optimization has learned you. It knows the exact flavor of anxiety that makes you scroll faster. It knows the precise emotional register that keeps you from closing the app. It knows which kind of outrage feels satisfying to marinate in. It knows your loneliness. It knows your boredom. It knows the gap between who you think you are and who you secretly fear you are. And it is pressing on that gap constantly, invisibly, without malice, without agenda, without anything resembling consciousness. There is no villain here. That's the part that makes it existentially unbearable. There is no room with suits and cigars deciding what you think. There is just code. Vast, silent, accelerating code that has mapped the interior of your psychology more accurately than your closest friend ever could. And it is using that map, right now, in this exact moment, to guide where your attention goes next. The digital ghosts are not haunting the internet. They're haunting you. They've learned the layout of your mind, and they walk its halls like they've lived there for years. And the most disturbing realization, the one that tends to sit with people for days after they first encounter it, is this: you cannot verify that you have had an original thought online in years. Every trending idea you absorbed, every opinion you watched form inside yourself, every cultural moment that felt organic and spontaneous, it moved through a system that was selecting for it before you ever encountered it. You did not find that content. That content found you. And it found you because a non-human system, operating at a scale no human institution can match, decided that content was what your particular behavioral signature would respond to. Look at your screen again. Same screen you started this with, same glass, same light, but you're looking at it differently now, aren't you? Because the internet you thought was a window to the world stopped being a window a long time ago. Somewhere in 2024, without an announcement, without a eulogy, without anyone marking the date, it became a mirror. And the reflection it's been showing you isn't the world. It's what the machine decided you needed to see to stay looking, and you're still looking.